Tesla is about to launch the Model 3 or the Model Y and possibly both. In India, this could be a reason why Tesla stock was up almost 4% today. Or it could be the fact that Elon just sent another warning to the short sellers. That's a story to be continued. In this video, we will discuss the coming launch of Tesla in India, as well as that Fundstrat's global head technical strategist just had some very bullish things to say on Tesla stock, as well as what you need to know heading into tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be a major, call it make it or break it moment for our markets. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time to the channel, well, lucky you. If you are someone that wants to grow your net worth, if you want to reach financial freedom as quickly as possible, or simply stay up to date with everything happening in the markets, as well as Tesla stock every single day, well, hit that subscribe button. You came to the right place, as well as like the video because it's free 99. So let's start this video with the fact Tesla stock closed after hours trading over $270 per share. This was a pretty big psychological level. Once you get out of that 260 zone into that 270 zone, I think you make that run to 300 a lot easier rather than being at 250 or 260. Now, simply put, earnings were great. Elon's commentary about future price cuts was negative. The Fed on Wednesday could give investors a big reason to buy Tesla stock, and that is interest rates going lower. This means if interest rates go lower, as Elon said on the earnings call, affordability for financing a Tesla should also go down, right? It should be cheaper to get your hands on a new Tesla if interest rates go down. That's going to mean less price cuts. The battle has been for Elon. Interest rates have been going higher, but the price of Teslas remained pretty flat for such a long time. Well, since interest rates kept going higher, Elon had to lower the prices so your average people could get into a Tesla. This just fundamentally is a huge positive if things go as planned, as the markets expect they will on Wednesday with the Fed meeting. That is a reason why Tesla stock rallied today, and I think that rally has a lot more rally in it. But hey, Tesla's going to launch in India, apparently. The Model 3 or the Model Y, and possibly even both. According to Business Today TV, Tesla is gearing up to launch operations in India with a focus on either the Model 3 or Model Y as its initial offerings. Tesla has set its sights on establishing a significant export hub in India, intending to target the lucrative Asian Pacific and African markets. While the precise location is yet to be finalized, potential sites in southern India and Gujarat are under consideration. An ambitious proposal submitted by Tesla unveils plans for the construction of a cutting-edge gigafactory in India. This state-of-the-art factory is envisaged to possess an annual production capacity of approximately 500,000 electric vehicles, making it a critical part of Tesla's global manufacturing network. Tesla's expansion strategy extends beyond manufacturing operations. The company is also committed to establishing a comprehensive charging infrastructure throughout India, effectively addressing one of the key concerns hindering the widespread adoption of electric vehicles in the country. A robust charging network is expected to play a pivotal role in facilitating the transition to electric mobility. Elon previously said in June that they are eager to enter the Indian market as soon as humanly possible. And now we're getting this news in July. It literally looks like they want to enter the Indian market as soon as humanly possible. And that's what they are trying to do. Now, India, they have a couple legacy auto manufacturers in India, but electric vehicles are not common. India has the highest population in the world, and it is one of the fastest growing countries in the world. This could be a very lucrative market for Tesla over the next coming years, and for good reasons. This is likely having a positive effect on Tesla stock, much the same way as Apple announcing they were going to enter into manufacturing in India and really try to push their iPhones in India had a positive impact to Apple's share price. Well, this is having a positive impact to Tesla's share price. And if you quantify just the amount of people in India, what the demand could look like for EVs, it's in the millions every single year. Even at this stage, if Tesla could build out infrastructure to charge these EVs, even today, the opportunity would be massive for Tesla. Now, this is great news on that front, but also as exporting vehicles, you're going to be able to get a cheaper model coming out of India, as India has a lot of rare earth materials and the dollar is a lot stronger over in India. So dollar for dollar, Tesla is going to be able to pay Indian workers a lot less while also giving them a very fair wage compared to America. So this has real fundamental benefits for Tesla. Even in the shorter term, the markets are looking at this and saying, hey, interest rates are about to fall. The cost of financing is going to fall. Demand should look better for Tesla. We should factor a higher valuation to future growth. Something interesting happens when interest rates rise. Investors don't want to touch long duration, unprofitable growth. Now, Tesla is highly profitable. They are the most profitable vehicle maker in the world. By far, nobody stands a candle to Tesla. But they also have huge potential growth, not just in autos. Energy storage is probably going to be a larger segment of Tesla's business. Give it 10 years. AI, that could be even larger than that. So there's a lot of runway for growth. Tesla's a relatively safe and stable business. Fundamentally, they have proven they continue to grow and will do whatever they need to do to grow. And they offer you that exceptional growth, as I previously mentioned. If the Fed does signal lower rates are coming, or the markets get that impression, that's a hell of a reason to buy Tesla stock. Now, this is just flat out funny. Tesla looks like they are trolling Ford, creating a Cybertruck wrapped in what looks to be a Ford wrap, to reference the Ford F-150 Lightning, because they call it boring. This is just Elon trolling, and I think it's kind of funny and has no implications for Tesla, but sheesh. Another reason we should probably talk about for why Tesla bounced so hard today and why a rally could continue is China. They're not giving out a massive stimulus as of yet, but this article says Beijing could still spring some surprises. China cut their major interest rate a little bit today, and there's talks about potential stimulus actually coming on the near-term horizon. This would likely do the same thing it did to America. Boost spending, likely boost inflation, which China doesn't have an inflation problem, so wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Tesla could probably raise prices on their cars after all, but really get China out of this economic hole that they are starting to go into. And as you know, well, Tesla's pretty important in China, and that's where a lot of their deliveries come from. So China doing better potentially means Tesla doing better. You've seen a lot of your Chinese stocks go higher today. Tesla, while I wouldn't consider it a Chinese stock, it does do a lot of business in China. Now let's look at what Fundstrat has to say about Tesla here in the short and the midterm. I think you could get a lot of solidarity out of what they have to say.
Switching gears here and zeroing in a little bit on earnings season, which is kicking into higher gear this week. Investors eagerly awaiting results from big tech stocks. That's after the Nasdaq was dragged down by second quarter results from Tesla and Netflix last week. Tesla's recent pullback overshadows the company's beat on the top and bottom line. And it got downgraded this morning as well over at UBS. So interesting there. We're seeing those shares pull back in pre-market trading. Mark Newton is still with us, Fundstrat Global Advisors, head of technical strategy. Mark, we wanted to sort of dig into some specific names a little bit, and Tesla is one of them. Obviously, it is of huge interest to people. So what's the setup look like after what we saw last week?
Well, look, Tesla has had an incredible rise. It's rallied over 100% just since the middle part of April. So it's difficult for stocks to go just in a linear direction straight up without any sort of correction. So it has gotten near-term overbought. There were some instances of the stock price moving up, but momentum has not followed of late. So that's a technical concern that sometimes means that the stock might need to consolidate. So it hit $300, and recently we've seen a little bit of backing and filling in the last week. They've downgraded today. It's down to 256. So it's getting closer to an area where investors might want to consider buying dips technically. But you have to realize that the stock is incredibly volatile compared to many other stocks. I mean, it turned negative last year.
And when he said this during the day was pretty much the low of the day as well, which I do find, again, interesting.
Here, Elon Musk sold shares back in October, November. The stock literally got cut in half. It went down to almost 100. And so now here it is at 256. So still, a very, very good rally. And if anything, on an intermediate term basis, it's actually gotten a lot more bullish for between now and 2025, I would argue. But these are just near-term concerns on the stock being downgraded. So I tend to see the stock as short-term negative, but overall on an intermediate-term basis, it's still quite attractive to me.
I'm curious, when you talk about a stock like Tesla that is so volatile,
right,
and that sort of one guest we had last week called it a faith-based stock in terms of, on the part of its investors, is it harder to then do technical analysis on a stock like that, or is it less useful in any way?
No, I would argue the opposite. I mean, technicals really show signs of the stock emerging from breaking down in ways that the fundamentals might not always justify. And so it's really important to study momentum and trend analysis and volume. And, this can help to put investors on the right side of where the stock is going to go. I mean, we all hope that the stock was higher in the long run. There are certain times when the technicals line up with the fundamentals. And recently, technicals have started to turn down in the short run. So all those are important. And Tesla, as you said, it's a stock where everybody has this, they want to invest in a wonderful car and a visionary leader similar to those with Amazon and Apple and the others. And so, sometimes the stock doesn't always reflect what the fundamentals might say. And so that's why technicals are, incredibly even more useful during times like this.
And earnings tomorrow is going to be massive. I would look at this as kind of a make it or break it moment for the rest of this week. I think the Fed could be important. I think some of the economic data could be important, like the GDP numbers we get on Thursday, as well as durable goods on Thursday, Friday's PCE data, personal income, personal spending data. Some of that is still going to be important. But bottom line is, if Microsoft and Google have really bad earnings, there's nothing that is going to save the markets from falling here. To the contrary, if earnings are better than expectations, which expectations are not high, for Microsoft and Google, markets are expecting a year-over-year revenue and earnings fall of about 5%. So, you would have to do pretty bad to miss those expectations. So I think that's important to put into context. That's probably not going to happen. If it did, if numbers come in worse than that, well, you're in for a pretty big problem. Now, even Tuesday morning, Verizon, GM, 3M, GE, Spotify, Raytheon Technologies, Next Era Energy, and Alaska Airlines could move their specific sectors. GM could be a big catalyst for Tesla as well. If GM gives us good news and maybe even raises guidance, that could get the morning started off with quite a bang. Hard to forecast what's going to happen. If I were to give you a personal opinion on Microsoft and Google, it probably comes in line, their earnings probably come in line with expectations, and the markets are okay with that, and the stocks move up or down 3 to 5%. In that case, I wouldn't really expect there to be huge implications for Tesla. But if these stocks fall, call it 10% a piece, or even more than that, you're going to be in massive trouble. So that is what I have for you here in this video. That is what you need to know heading into tomorrow morning. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you made it to the end of this video and you want to stay up to date with everything going on in our markets every single day. Not to mention that if you want to take it a step further, come trade with me live in real time. Every time I make a trade, I send out alerts. This is a trading community. You can come trade with us live every single day. And 24/7, 7 days a week, I'm available to talk, answer questions. So are, everyone else in the group. This is a group. You can communicate and talk with each other. And I think that's what ultimately is most beneficial. This is not a trading alert kind of thing where you're going to get a text on your phone. Similar, but it's quite different in terms of this being an actual community. Again, if you want to sign up and try it out. If it's not for you, then obviously don't be a part of it. Well, link down below in the description of this video. You guys, most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day or night, and I will see you in the next one.